Welcome, everybody. The purpose of the call today, what we're looking at, and you may be asking yourself, is how do I strengthen the relationships that I have? How can I become better with the people that are around me? How can I gain some mentorship? And why is any of this important at all? Right? Yesterday, if you were on the call live, then we went over a handful of those things. The recording should already be up on YouTube. You can catch it there, or you can get to it a little bit later on today. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about relationships and why they're important. So just to review, you guys have heard that saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around, right? We've all heard that. Well, we went through a couple of different studies yesterday to kind of prove that it's not just that. It's the average of the people that you spend the most time with. It's the average of the people that they spend the most time with. And it's the average of them as well. So if you are hanging out with people that are smoking, you're 49, 50% more likely to smoke. If they have friends that smoke, then you're 20 something percent. If the third layer out, all of these things go into what you do on a daily basis. And it's important to strengthen yourself in that regard then. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that and about those relationships. Now, as we look at it, what the challenge was when you start building that group around you, and this is why this is important. Dr. David McClelland, Harvard social psychologist, the people you habitually associate with determine as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. You guys may or may not have heard this, but you are going to be who you're going to be one way or another in 5 years. The only way to change who you are going to be in 5 years is by the books that you read, the people that you spend time with, and the actions that you take in life or the places that you go. If you want to become a better person, it's going to come from the information that you gather, whether that's reading books, listening to audio, or attending trainings. It's going to be the people that you spend time with. And they can determine as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. And then it's going to be the actions that you take based on that information that you've gathered. So it's important that you strengthen those around you. Now, the core qualities, I asked you guys to create a list yesterday of some of the core qualities that you want the people around you to have. So if you haven't done that, that's part of the challenge. Go back and watch yesterday's. But the core qualities of the people that you want around you. These are a handful of examples. We have health, spirituality, self-awareness, success. Let me see if I can make these a little bigger. Positivity, knowledge, outlook, experience, ethics, wisdom, uplifting, presence, patience, perseverance, resilience. Those are a handful of qualities. You obviously come up with your own. Next, come up with who is around you right now, and then who you would like to have be a part of the network around you. So who else or can be plugged into the network that you have? Are we all on the same page? We all clear? Do we have any questions on any of those points at right now before I get to the next step? Any questions on kind of those core qualities and the people you have around you? Any of those key points that we talked about yesterday or today? Mike, Adrian, Winnie, Jahel, Lauren, anybody? Yes, no? We're good. Solid. Okay. So I'm going to get you these in an email. I'm going to put them into the Skype channel a little bit later on in the affirmations group, but I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself. I want you to grade yourself on a scale of just 1 to 3. These questions. Okay, you're going to answer them. No one else can answer these for you. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being poor, 2 is average, 3 is good or great. People like me. When I meet new people, I engage them right away. I help other people regularly. I look to make connections for others. I have my own, because we're looking at building ourselves, not just in the real world, but the virtual world as well. So I have my own site or page that I update frequently. I constantly meet new people or am connected to new people. I have a process to network or build a relationship. And I have a great personal commercial. So what I mean is either on my page, if it's virtual, or if I do connect with someone personally and they say, what do you do? Who are you? You've got a great response. Instead of just saying, well, I do all sorts of things. Well, how much time do you have? Well, let me tell you a little bit. You need to know exactly what it is that you're telling people. that's going to spark some interest, right? So we're talking now about creating relationships that are either brand new or strengthening ones that you have. Okay, does everybody have these questions? I'll get them to you later, but everyone have at least a good idea of what they are. I want you to kind of do this test for yourself today, the connection self-test. All right. Everybody good with that? Yes. Raise of hands, chime in the chat. Yes, everybody's good. Be able to do this today. All right, good. Next. Here's what I want you to think about. We created a list of the 5 that are around you. What we want to look at are things that these other people that we want to plug into our network, our core group, our Power 5, our Power team, whatever. The ideas that they have, elegant ideas, how they execute, are they able to help me increase my production? Are they, I don't want to be the smartest in the room. I want to be in a room with smart people. Like, this is why we create a powerful group around us instead of simply just kind of letting people be there. Okay. This is understanding the power of a network like that, as opposed to just connecting. So providing value to someone is a whole new way of thinking. It means give first rather than ask first. It means helping others so that they will look forward to helping you back. Now, there are mentors, then there are kind of accountability partners or partners. There are people that are in your group. There are people that are maybe in that mentor position, but they may not even know it, right? This is where we start looking at building out relationships that we can take to the next level. The reason that all this is important, so in my professional background, some of you guys know this, some don't, but so before I worked online, when I was 19 to 21, I was a missionary in Brazil, right? And I enjoyed my time there, and I had an opportunity to train other missionaries and other people that were there. But it really came about because I found a handful of mentors that trained me, that helped me. And then I learned the power of relationships then. When I was in business doing cleaning and restoration, I started with my ex-father-in-law, and it was he and myself. And that was it. And we built that up to where when Hurricane Katrina came through, I got called in from networking that I had done, work that I had done, a relationship that I had built. I got called in to do work. I had 120 guys working for me for months and months, doing work for FEMA and school system up there and everything else. Then came back to Orlando, built a different business, still in cleaning and restoration, built that up, was able to build relationships and get onto vendor programs that really we had no right being on, but simply because of the relationships we built and what I did to go help those people I was building a relationship with. And so we took a business where I was the only full-time employee at the beginning to within 2 years, a business that was a good mid 7 figures. Within 2 more years, it got up into 8 figures. We went from me being the only full-time employee to about 25 full-time employees, 50 to 75 subcontractors at a minimum, doing business all over the state of Florida. It all came about because of relationships. At the time, it wasn't marketing online. I wasn't running Google ads, we weren't running Facebook ads. That's not how we were getting our customers. We're getting our customers because of relationships. Anytime you're looking to build a powerful relationship, and then when it came to working online and starting my journey there, the only reason I've been able to do what I have done, the only reason I'm able to sit where I do and I can work from home all of this time is because of the relationships I've built, the mentors that I've had. You can go through this journey alone, guys. You can. You absolutely can if you want to. You can figure it out. Every one of you is smart enough to do it. The journey becomes easier or less of a struggle, might be a better way of saying it, with the right mentors and the right support. Now that support, there's different levels. Mentorship, there's different levels. And maybe you're one of those people that you're already at the top of your game. And if you are, that's great. If you're good at what you do, that's fantastic. So go find someone that's even higher up. Find someone that's done what you want to be able to do. Figure out a way to connect. I'm going to go through a handful of those manners, but honestly, right now, 2021, the world that we're in, so much going on virtually. A couple of my mentors, I would say, don't even know that they're my mentors. I talk about The Big Leap all the time. Gay Hendricks, reading that book over and over and over again. Jeffrey Gitomer studying his things. There's other people that I've studied so in depth that they've kind of become a mentor to me. And I've grown because of it, but then I have those mentors that I can reach out to that I've built a relationship. And I want you guys to understand, if you can't build a relationship with someone right away, it doesn't mean you never will, but it also doesn't mean you should stop looking for mentorship and getting coaching and training. You've got to do that work. You need somebody, you should be following someone's path. I know some of you guys kind of view yourselves as trailblazers and you want to walk the road that's never been walked before, and that's great. But dang, guys, like there's a lot of pathways that have been walked already that are a good pathway to some success. Yours may vary a little bit, but why not walk in the shoes of those that have gone before you, right? Stand on the shoulders of giants. That's what it's all about, right? So let's talk a little bit about how to build some of these relationships then. Okay, here's a universal truth of connecting. Your mother taught you everything you need to know about connecting before you were 10. Make friends, play nice, tell the truth, help others, take a bath, do your homework. All right, guys, how does that play out online? Make friends, play nice, tell the truth, take a bath, help others. How does all that play out if a lot of what we're doing now is virtual? How would I make friends? How would I play nice, help others? What do I mean by that? Someone chime in. I know all you guys are intelligent enough to put the pieces together.
Giving valuable content.
Good. It's a great way, right? Absolutely. Valuable content, and people start to get to know you a little bit. What else? What is it? How do I equate? I mean, obviously, if I'm in a networking situation, taking a bath means I'm clean, my clothes are pressed, I look good while I'm there, right? My breath doesn't stink. How does that play out online?
The image or the brand image that you put out there, what they see visually has to, like in the apartment business, that they always talk about curbside appeal. Yep. So, you see something and a nice curbside appeal, and it makes you want to go in and maybe rent from that place because the way it looks. So if you put something out there visually in the digital world, it's more likely to draw somebody in out of curiosity. Yeah. And or like supermarkets, if it's really real, or the store, if it's really, really clean in the way it looks, it might prompt you to stay longer and then shop.
Yeah, level of professionalism is a huge part of that. Yeah, so Michelle's saying present yourself professionally. Absolutely. So the types of videos that you put out, the images that you put up, I joke about it with the regular businesses that we're trying to help with social media. Don't ever post the happy hump day memes. Don't do that. Don't ever post the little image of Kermit sipping tea and say good morning to you, or the little cheap GIFs, whatever, that are available on Apple or Android of like, a cat sipping tea with like weird rainbow bubbles popping up for a good morning. Don't do those, guys. Don't do that, right? Provide value. So that's part of our take a bath. How you look absolutely plays out. Providing great value, providing content, going and following someone else, liking their stuff, commenting, giving them engagement, right? That's one of the ways that you can give back digitally right now. Take part in a positive manner inside of groups and other things there. The way that I got to speaking at events, the way that I've been able to do other things is simply providing more value than I was asked to. Every time I turn around, everywhere I go, I try to do more than what I was asked to do, because it's going to benefit the person that's asking me to do something.
Another way to do that, Dan, to do that is you talk about posting comments on other people's posts, but also reposting that to other influencers so that they know that you're actually promoting them. So they're showing that you're promoting them to other people they might want to connect with.
Yeah, do that on a consistent basis, but you got to build up yourself. So you're using the template, so your Facebook is set up and your page is ultra professional. So if I'm going to repost someone else's post, when they look at my page, they're going to go, oh, that's cool. Not, who the hell is this guy? Right? Make that connection and kind of start it that way. That's digitally one way to do it. Okay, next, be intentional with your sphere. I need you to think about the people that are around you. I had you yesterday, and if you haven't yet, I need you to create a list of the 5 people that are closest to you right now. The people that you spend the most time with, you're connected to most, whether on the phone, through text, like where are you getting the majority of your influence from? Pick 5. Now, do those 5 people closest to you, do they know your goals, personal and professionally? Do they support your progress towards your goals? I want you to think about the people that are around you. If you set a goal to exercise 3 times a week, if you set a goal to do your affirmations every day, are they going to encourage you to get moving? Are they going to help you towards that goal? Or are they going to give you a hard time for taking time away from them? Oh, but we're supposed to go shopping. We're supposed to do this. Have you done that? Oh, I'd rather you sit down and relax with me. Or why aren't you on the phone with? Are they going to give you a hard time? Or are they going to say, get at it? Go, Carolyn, go get it done, right? Hey, Rick, get up. Yep, you're right. Hey, you've only had 2 this week. We need that 3rd workout, whatever that is. Are they going to lift and support you in your business and growth? This is important. This right here. So any of you guys that are in a relationship, I want to be real clear on this. I've experienced this personally. I've seen it happen to a lot of couples. A lot of you are starting the business and this is your business. Okay. And if guys, I'm going to take about 60 seconds. So I'm talking to more people in the relationships. I'm not trying to alienate single people because I get it, but this has to be said. If you're in a relationship and you're working on the business and your partner isn't doing the business with you, that's fine. Do what you can to, in one way or another, help support them in some type of personal development. Work towards that, right? Even if it's listening out loud to podcasts or audiobooks or showing that you're reading or occasionally sharing little insights about yourself and your growth or those around you, and not saying, honey, you should read this. You really need to hear this because this is something I think you should work on. That never helps. Okay. Don't do that. But if you can, guys, find a way to do personal development together, because otherwise you are working consistently on that course correction in your life. All of you guys are working on a course correction, right? Now, course correction, this is more like when we're talking about with pilots or you're in a boat, the course correction is never, oh, we're here, we got to take a 70 degrees turn and head this way. Oh my gosh, 45 degrees off to the side, we're totally in the wrong area. Most of you guys aren't having to do that. We're doing a course correction that's just that 1 or 2% at a time, right? And over the length of that journey, that ends up spreading more and more and more. But if you're in a relationship and you're taking a course correction right now, or if you're single and you've got people around you and you're thinking about that core group, and if that core group isn't also working on developing themselves in some way, over the course of the next few years, you are going to distance yourself from them, from that core group or from that core individual. It's a simple thing, but you've got to be aware of it. So it shouldn't surprise you in 5 years when you can't connect with those people that have never worked on themselves. Are we all, do we get what I'm saying? And if you've got that significant other and there's zero desire or zero effort put into that, you've got to find a way to help them, or else it can create friction in a relationship. Okay. I've got personal experience with this. I've seen it happen in many, many lives. Something I joke about from time to time is, guys, I'm here, I can help you launch a business and get your business going and help you develop, but I'm not much of a marriage counselor. I don't want anyone sleeping on the couch. If you've got that relationship, try and find a way to have some type of growth together. It doesn't have to be the same thing that you're studying and that you're doing. It doesn't, because we're all unique. Maybe the hobby that they pick up is I don't know, woodworking or crochet, but they find something that they're passionate about, allow that passion to grow. Okay. That's important inside relationships. And then if you've got your core group, I'll tell you something. I would say in my core, maybe not just 5, but just beyond that, the guys that are men and women that are around me, even if I am not daily interacting with them, sometimes it's just text, sometimes it's a phone call. Sometimes I don't talk to them for a couple months at a time, but each of them is working hard at bettering themselves. So I know anytime I'm going to talk to them, they're reading a new book, they're studying something new, they're engaged fully and wholeheartedly in a project. And so when I talk about me being passionate about something, they connect with that right away because they're passionate as well. Look for something like that in those that you maintain around you consistently. Okay. So if you set a goal to limit your drinking, would your circle of influence encourage you, or are they going to try to get you to go out? And, are they going to go to happy hour or just a cup of coffee? If you're successful long-term, you need to be intentional with the people you surround yourself with. You need people who will support your progress towards your goals. Okay. Next, separating yourself from negativity. This is something that was brought up yesterday. Misery loves company. When you surround yourself with negative people, it's easy to see the negative. That should be conversely, I think. If you surround yourself with positive people, you also see more positive. Controversially, wow. Sometimes I just don't know what I'm writing. What topics do you discuss with your circle? Are you lifting people up? Are you talking about people behind their backs? Are you encouraging each other? Are you breaking each other down? Are you talking about difficulties? Are you talking about projects? Are you talking about overcoming obstacles? Are you talking about uplifting things? All of this has to be part of what you pay attention to. Look, guys, we are still in this season of chaos and uncertainty. You've got the pandemic. You've got the job market around the world. We have now this stuff with the vaccine. You have politics. You have, everything going on. It's easy to get frustrated. You've got to be intentional with the positivity. People are going to be frustrated about everything you can think of right now. You've got to look for other things to be positive about. Okay. So gratitude should be part of it. The affirmations, all of that. Next, setting boundaries. Maybe you have someone in your circle that's not the best influence, but you can't separate yourself. Make sure you're intentional spending time with the people who are positive. Sometimes you can't get away from certain negativity because they're either the relationship that you're in, they're children, they're a parent, they're somebody at work that you spend time with them because you don't have any other choice. If that's the case, you've got to buffer yourself with even more positivity, right? It's just like nutrition, working out, people with the business. You've got to find things that are going to move you in the right directions. Okay. These are some things that you can do with people that are negative. If you feel you can, talk with them about your goal, talk to them about why of your goal. Why is it important for you to start eating healthier or start working out more or starting on your business? Talk about those things. And if they're not going to react positively, protect yourself in other ways. Be ready for that negativity. Does anyone have any kind of comments on this, how you dealt with negativity? I'd like to hear some of you guys, some feedback there. How have you dealt with negativity from those around you, whether it's the business, it's health, it's whatever? What have you done to insulate yourself and help yourselves out?
When I can, if I'm around negative people, I basically just try to distance myself if I can. I mean, obviously the situation where you can't, but if I can, I'll just distance myself from them and just not associate with them and break those relationships if it's possible. You can't always, but you can try and do that.
You can't always, but you can more than you think, right? You really can more than you think. Now I've got a handful of friendships that have developed over years. I'm going to mute you guys real quick. We'll unmute in a second. A handful of relationships have developed over the years that now I feel like they will last forever. With that said, the only one that I would be 100% unwilling to cut off would be my mom, my kids, and my fiance, soon to be wife, right? Other than that, I can insulate myself enough because I know I can create other relationships. Now, I don't think that's ever going to happen with the core group that I've got. I'm not going to need that. But I've developed that mentality over the years because I've had friends that business partners, others, look, it's okay if our courses split apart at some point. I'm okay with that. How many of you guys had, in your high school yearbook, friends forever? I'm never going to let you go. I'll always be by your side, all that kind of stuff. And you're still friends with them now. Chris, you guys, I've brought him on. He and I were friends in high school. Other than that, there's nobody. Nobody. Right? I'm okay with that. It's all right. Anybody else? Ways that you've dealt with kind of separating yourself or dealt with the negativity so that you can remain positive?
I seek first to understand, then to be understood. I
That's
don't
perfect.
accuse.
Yeah, that's perfect. Great point. Anybody
Sometimes
else?
I'll just talk about the
Going
subject in a very sorry.
Sherman, I gotta mute you, brother. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I try to. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Kirk. You're good.
I try to talk about the subject in a very objective manner to try to get that person to see it from a different perspective, if possible.
Right.
If I'm not successful in doing that, I mean, I get it. We all have different opinions and perspectives, and that's okay. And if I feel that it is too much where I need to separate, I mean, I don't have a problem doing that. I'll still love you from a distance and still engage you from time to time. So it just depends on how that person responds.
Yeah. So my point of view with when I'm talking about my circle of five guys, my core group that's around me, I'm not as concerned with someone's religion, their political beliefs, I can, I'm sure in the group that we have here and, over the course of the last few months, we've had hundreds on these calls. I'm more than confident that I can sit down with anybody and have a conversation about just about anything. And I'm cool. You believe whatever you want, right? With religion, with politics, with any of that. What I'm talking about is what can you bring to the table? What can I bring to the table with that relationship? Shirley's talking about being understood, right? Are you positive by nature? Right? I mean, you guys have heard me say it enough. I'm not big on if you're going to play the victim in life, I don't have time for that because I believe we all have, that personal responsibility. This is our life. I want people that are either in control of their life or striving for that control. They're willing to take responsibility. They don't blame anyone else or even themselves. There's no blame. It's just there. And how do I advance? Someone that can bring something positive to my life, whether it's, more knowledge about this or that or the other, and they don't contain one of those, or they contain as many of those core qualities as possible and not something that is just a huge deterrent to those. Does that make sense? So look, this person may look and believe this and look and believe like that. But as long as we're all positive in our growth, like I'm putting together, and I've mentioned, I'm going to be up in Colorado end of September. Got a handful of guys. We're getting together for like a small mastermind weekend, different religions, different political beliefs, core belief as far as building themselves and finding ways to help others, right? That's the core that brings us together. And I'm fine with that. So you've got to kind of create around you how you want those people to be. Don't insulate yourself too much from other viewpoints, but insulate yourself from negativity. Does that make sense with everybody? We good there? Okay. The questions you ask, the ideas you bring to the table, your communication skills combined with passion, belief, and attitude are the fundamentals of what it takes to connect. Okay. If you've got a chance to speak to someone you want to make a mentor, you got a chance to talk with someone that you want to bring into your circle, you've got to know the questions to ask. You've got to bring some value there. You've got to bring more and seek to bring more before you pull from. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen people make when they're looking to get, so anyway, let me dive into that, universal truth, and then here, what you say and how you act with others is a reflection of who they think you are. While you're speaking, they're thinking and deciding who you are, whether they like you, whether they want to take the next step with you. So you want to work on those things as you're connecting with people. Let me just keep going. We'll talk a little bit about getting a mentor. All right. So how many of you guys would like to be able to connect with people that you feel are at a higher level than you in one way or another? Does that sound like something that you guys would be interested in? Okay. I just want to make sure. At least I got a couple of you, so we're okay. All right. First thing, don't just walk out and say, look, I want you to be my mentor, right? I don't believe that should be the first thing out of your mouth anyway. Getting to that point, sure, but you want to earn that privilege. You want to be of value and you want to deserve it. So hard work, show promise, have a hard work ethic, know your goals, do the research, recognize the difference between a mentor, coach, and customer service. So first off, when I say work hard, show promise, have a work ethic, not a hard luck story, what do I mean? If I'm talking with someone or I'm trying to show this, what does that mean to someone that I'm trying to help become a mentor? Someone chat with me about these. What do you think, or what questions you have about these key points, A through F? Let's say I want, go ahead, Carolyn.
Well, I think one of the big things, if you're gonna want to be with a mentor who's above you, you have to value their time. So I feel very strongly you need to be prepared. I usually send the questions in advance that I want to discuss, and then if there's a follow-up, you have how you've applied what they've told you to your life and what results you've gotten.
Yeah, that's huge. And so do the research, and the difference between mentor coaching and customer service goes into exactly what Carolyn's talking about. So if I work with a mentor, or I want to work with a mentor, one of the first things I'm going to do is look at what they do and they've done and they've talked about. Right now on social media, we got a chance to do that with just about anybody. So you can go to their page, look at what they sell, look at what they've talked about. A lot of times you'll find people that say, well, you know, this was a book that I read, or this is something that I did, or I went to, you know, Tony Robbins training when I was blah, 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 right? Or I went to this, or I went to that. Figure out what they learned, where they went. And if you can find a way to get them something of value like that, even if it's something sentimental, that's great. If you get a chance to work with them at all, or you're in a program with them, then do what the program shows before you ask a question that's already been answered, right? Because that's the difference. A lot of times people want to get an answer from a mentor that they've already answered. And so it's almost like I'm treating you like customer service. Does that make sense? You guys know what I'm talking about? I see that all the time, honestly, guys, with this group. So here's what I'm going to do. Quick challenge. I'm going to wrap up the video, but I'm going to stay on. We're going to answer some questions. I want to talk about this a little bit. The value of a relationship cannot be overstated in your journey in this life. Online, at home, wherever. The power of the relationships around you will help you become who you need to become. You know, the doctor from Harvard said that up to 95% of your success or failure in life is directly related to those you spend time with. If you're wondering why the hell you haven't reached the point you want to be yet in this life, I'd look at those around you. And if they're not where you want to be, then you need to stop and go, okay, how do I strengthen this group? What can I do? So inside the affirmations group a little bit later on today, I'm going to give you some of these slides. First thing I'm going to do is give you some of the questions because I got a little bit more to get into with this, but pay attention to who's around you, look at those core qualities and find out what you need to do to develop a better group and go and be awesome.